we've had a varied history with Fort Payne over the years, and anytime you can get a good win against Fort Payne, you've had a good week.
Oh, absolutely. They've won their Region 8 2 years in a row. You know, Coach Jerry Elmore's son, Chris, is the head coach there, and everybody remembers Coach Elmore from his time here at Cullman. He actually coached me for a year in high school, and they got a quality program, super running back, really good offense, and you know, Coach Elmore does a super job up there. And so, yeah, it was a big win to you know, finish the regular season at 5-5 and not 4-6, and end with two wins over two really outstanding football teams. So, you know, I'm really couldn't be more pleased.
And you and I talked at the beginning of the season. We were looking for improvement, and we've seen that on a week-to-week basis. And especially your offensive line and defensive line have really stepped up here in the last two regular season games.
Yeah, well, you know, it's consistency, and you practice for a reason. You know, guys get game experience, understand more what we need, what we got to have to be successful, and you know, that's the way it should be. I want everything in the program is set up for the kids to improve. You know, academically, from leadership standpoint, decision making, you know, football skill, weight room strength, you know, speed, all those type things. And so, you know, by the end of the season, yeah, we should be a lot better than we were in the spring training game. And you know, so it's been a good year as far as that goes, as far as just the steady improvement. Especially, you know, we got some guys back that have been hurt, sick, banged up, and obviously that makes a big difference as well.
And having Fort Payne, they were really doing good in their region, and it's good to come in and get a win against them. I know there's been a couple of years we've traveled up there and had a rough night. But,
yeah, a lot of tradition in that program, you know, and I'll say I congratulate our team for, you know, navigating through this. This is the most difficult regular season Cullman's ever played. I've been around this football program a long time, and we played 4 region winners, 3 undefeated teams, and 8 playoff teams, and that's almost impossible to put a schedule like that together, honestly.
Yeah, just to mention Hueytown and Muscle Shoals.
And Jasper, don't forget Jasper.
Oh, yeah, they're just not in their classification. But right. Let's get on into the first quarter and see how these Bearcats navigate here starting out the ball game.
That's right. Black and gold's in the gold pants again. I think good look. The kids like it. You know, here we're in our flex bone set. You know, and right off the get-go, you can see the offensive line coming off football. Bailey Hayes getting out front, and Jaden making the right cuts. And you know, obviously, again, we're a long way from where we were back in spring. Good to get Isaiah Jones back. He had the flu, and he was out about 10 days now. From school and everything, and he's lost weight, and he's getting back in the rhythm of playing. You know, great job here, Coach Saint, the offensive staff calling plays. I mean, we've thrown the ball, we've run the cross, run the power. You know, the conditions were very manageable. It was, you know, a lot of people had moved the games to Thursday night, but we got a turf field, and it was just going to be light showers, and you know, we needed another day to prepare for this fine Fort Payne team.
Yeah, as long as you don't have a flood, that field's going to drain and be fine.
That's a great job. And what a great opening drive too. I mean, it's just a mix of plays. Everybody's making plays. You see Jalen's back. He's still not 100% from that ankle, but you know, he's running north and south.
It's always good to see Jaden and Jalen back there together. I mean, they're a load for anybody.
No doubt, no question about it. Again, running the power here. You see, you know, Jalen leading the way. That's one of our freeze plays. We send the slot in motion, and sometimes you draw them offside. Sometimes we can see how the defense lines up, and we can make a call from the sideline. So that's why we do that. And again, Jaden's making a great cut, and that's how he's become that type of runner. He's good with making 5 or 6 yards, and you know, he made some big plays in the game too. And you know, and this was a huge opening drive, you know, because I think it sends a message that, hey, you know, this is, you know, we're coming after you, you know, and we're going to be efficient. I mean, you know, we just had I think we went back and looked at the stats. We've had 7 turnovers this year.
Right.
And then that's our favorite play right there next to victory in the quarterback sneak, and just offensive line coming off the football and just very methodical. You know, like I said, one of our themes being stone cold business. I mean, we just, everybody's doing their job and they're oblivious to the score or what other players on the other team may say or do, and just, and just working down the field and being consistent.
And you can really see Jaden and Jalen, the improvement they made, being able to learn their blocks and find their holes instead of trying to stretch it out like they did early in the season. It's a much better job
now talk about finding the holes. That Hunter Love kid from Fort Payne is about as good a zone and stretch running back as I've seen in some time. He is outstanding, and he's a junior, and man, he's about 245, and man, what a great running back. He could see those cuts, and he falls forward, and it may not be flashy, but I'm telling you, he is super effective. And you see Fort Payne, they're a lot like us. I mean, they got some big running backs, and they come off the football, and I knew it was going to be a battle of some run-oriented offenses,
right?
And it's just going to be like who can kind of get that stop, who can be successful on those first downs and force the other team to throw a little bit more than they want to. What a great kicker, the McPherson kid. There's a sophomore, and he's already been offered by Florida where his brother kicks, and I thought he was going to about knock the guy out on one of his extra points down there to hit that concession stand in the north end zone. It sounded like a shotgun went off. Guy dove out of the way. There we go, run the cross option. We can stick with our block a little bit more. We're running a little bit more and more option. Here we're in a trips package, and we've been working hard on throwing the ball, and we know we're going to have success. What a great catch by Isaiah Jones. A great concentration. Ball popped up in the air.
And just a great job keeping the play going and Doolin making that throw.
One of our best plays this year is this little weak side toss to the fullback. We're getting a tight formation, and it just seems from a scheme standpoint gives people a lot of trouble. Running the waggle, we've worked hard on increasing our spacing and making that throw and catch a little easier, and that's something we'd plan to do more of going into the year. And just sometimes it just takes some time to figure it out. Good job, Ben Turner, pulling out there on the waggle.
But as the season's gone on with Jalen and Jaden's improvement, it makes it easier on them to pick up the yardage that they're able to do.
Yeah, again, good job on the waggle. See Jake Doolin catching the drag. We're finally running it with the spacing that we need. We got in our twin set, which gives people a lot of problems. I know when I ran the defense, that was one of the hardest sets to defend. And I'm real proud, like I said, Coach Saint, Coach Hackbarth, Coach Campbell, Coach Hanna, Coach Fondren, guys on the offensive staff. We've really been able to develop a system I think is very complementary. Plays have very similar backfield actions, but they're hitting inside, outside, and in the passing game, and have some reverses out of it. And I feel like it's a scheme that gives people a lot of problems. And then obviously when you got some playmakers like we have at running back, and makes it a tough offense to defend, I believe.
Okay, and a lot of schemes are different since you come in as coach, and they've taking them to heart and really developing, and really you can see the improvement of the Bearcats over this first season. Yeah,
well, I think we said it before, the old is new again. Yeah. And, running an option-based, wing tee-based offense, nobody does it, and it's super hard to prepare for when you're used to 7-on-7s in the summer and everybody's throwing the ball around, all that, and all of a sudden those ends have to be disciplined and squeeze or spill blocks instead of just running upfield rushing the passer. And it puts a lot of stress on defenses because they're trying to simulate it in practice and only having a week. So.
Okay. Well, we're going to take a commercial break. This is the Cullman Football Review, and it's brought to you by Citizens Bank and Trust, Cullman Power Board, Target Pest Control, and Bill Smith GMC Buick. And we'll be back after with the commercial break.
With your Citizens Bank and Trust digital wallet, your busy life just got a lot less complicated. As a community bank, we know our customers, they're our neighbors and friends, and we know your banking needs. It's easy to use. Simply hold your phone up to the terminal at checkout. It's right there when you need it. No more searching for your cards. Citizens Bank and Trust. Small bank, big difference. Member FDIC, third-party fees for data, messaging, and internet may apply.
Of the many forces of nature that threaten our homes, one of the most menacing strikes without warning. Sound or fury. They're termites, and they cause billions in damage homeowners insurance won't cover. Fortunately, Termador protects before termites become a problem. Because there's no forecasting when termites will strike.
Call Target Pest Control for a free termite inspection of your home. We aim to please.
The world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate, available only on the next generation GMC Sierra.
And welcome back to the Cullman Football Review, brought to you by Citizens Bank and Trust, Target Pest Control, Cullman Power Board, and also Bill Smith, GMC Buick. And Coach, you tied up after one quarter, and Bearcats have really moved the football well, and look like they're ready for a good night.
Yeah, I mean, we know it's an outstanding offense we're playing, and you know, it's going to take more than just one good drive or two good drives to win this football game. I promise you, it's going to go into the fourth quarter, and we're expecting nothing less but a battle to the end of this game.
And I know the defensive coaches are trying to make adjustments and slow that Fort Payne offense down, but that's difficult to do with that running back and their whole offense.
That's right. I mean, you know, they really hadn't been slowed down all year, and like I said, we got some stops. I was really proud of defense. You know, we gave up some yards and they drove the field, and I was talking with the defensive coaches, and then after the game, and I said, you know, one of the hardest things in football is when a team's methodically running the ball and moving the ball down the field is to get a stop.
Right.
You know, in the red zone area after you've really been pounded the whole time, and to be able to reach down deep, make a play, get a turnover, or hold them to a field goal is one of the most remarkable things in football, I think.
Yeah,
you can get it done.
When you get old Mo on their back, it's tough to get it off down there in that red zone.
Absolutely.
Let's get on into the second quarter and look at the Bearcats.
Again, run the short side toss to the fullback, walk in, and again, just a great job, you know, play calling and sticking to a scheme. And, you know, we're one of those people now, if something's working, we're going to run it again. You won't ever have to worry about, you know, I remember I was defensive coordinator and, you know, something worked for the offense and they never ran it again that way. I always wondering, like, why in the world did they not run that again? I'm glad they didn't, but that ain't going to be the case with us.
Well, I know those running backs were glad to get a chance to score down inside the 5 because Doolin is pretty good on that sneak.
No doubt. Doing a good job tackling here. You know, we started getting into the legs and working a roll tackle, and man, good physical hit here, and man, what a great stop that was, and caused a turnover on that big running back. Got a short field, and that's one of those stops I was talking about. You know, if your offense is scoring and driving the ball, we just need a few stops or a couple of turnovers, and like I said, we've had 7 turnovers for the entire year out of 10 games, and man, when you're changing offenses and, you know, not to have bad snaps or in the conditions. I mean, we've really protected the ball well, and that's again, you know, Max Dillon he understands that's his number one job is to protect that football, and you know, run across right here. You know, that's probably a case where we're trying to make too much happen, and you know, we just want to keep going forward. But those offensive linemen cut them off the ball. You know, great pitch on the option here, and like I said, we can hold that block a little bit longer. We're going to score and get our little power formation. Good cut. I thought that was we got into the end zone. A lot of times in high school, you got to be laying in the end zone with the ball for them to call it, because like I said, we call them 1-inch Rodney when the referee runs up there and marks it on that 1-inch line. There's no breaking the plane unless it's
broke.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been there this year.
That's right. That's all right.
Great defense there.
Yeah, super job. You know, really pleased with our kickoff team this year. And then you see what a great back. I said, and it's not flashy, but man, he can see that cut, and just that little bit of opening, and he's going to get through there with some power and some speed. But again, making them run to the perimeter, run into the football, get them on the ground, it's a huge deal. Again, just an offense that's just so efficient as Fort Payne, and they've got some talent too. It's super well coached, but they got some guys that can really score, and they've scored on everybody. I mean, great call on the zone read there.
And they've got an offensive line that works so well together. That's
no question
hard
about
to defend.
And that's always been one of Coach Elmore's strengths, is just the O-line in the run game. And see Drew Ball back. Drew was had that broken hand, and hadn't been able to lift weights. He's lost some weight because he couldn't work out and things. But man, he was excited to be back out there without that cast. There we go, run the Sally reverse right here, get a nice gain. Jake's just done a super job. It's kind of unusual. That ball popped up in the air, and Isaiah caught it, and we ended up getting a holding call. It was really, really good play. Run the buck, make a great cut, and that's as good as you can do. I mean, it's right there as far as executing. Jeb Bartle blocking down, and Jake Doolin. Lane Smith really played well this latter part of the season. Ben Turner, Bailey Hayes, Carson Hill at center.
Beautiful play there, picks up your first down.
That's right. Evan Richards, big sophomore on the offensive line. Will Stallings comes in when we do some unbalanced sets. Good hard running. Again, we're trying to protect the ball. Have the lead. Here we go on the trap. Right there, people just don't see it.
Yeah.
They just don't see that play, and it's super hard to defend. Drop that snap right there. We're really close to the first down. We really decided to go for it right here just because, I was concerned about the wet conditions, having a bad snap. I felt like we could make half a yard. I didn't want to do anything to give them a chance to make a big play because they got the ball to start the second half, and felt like our chances were really, really good to execute on quarterback sneak. Except for that snap we dropped right there, we're as close to 100% on that for the year as far as converting a fourth down or scoring.
Well, I guess if I'd told you you'd be up 21-7 at halftime, you'd have taken that, wouldn't you, Coach?
Oh, yeah. Every week.
Every week?
Every week.
Well, this is the Cullman Football Review, and brought to you by Citizens Bank and Trust, Cullman Power Board, Target Pest Control, and Bill Smith, GMC Buick. And we'll be back after a halftime show with an exciting third quarter as Cullman's up 21-7 here at halftime.
At Citizens Bank and Trust, your security is our top priority. Online statements eliminate the risk of your financial information getting lost in the mail. The statement can be viewed online at home or on the go, and you'll receive your statements faster each month. Plus, signing up is easy. At Citizens Bank and Trust, your security is our priority. Citizens Bank and Trust. Small bank, big difference. Member FDIC. Third-party fees for internet messaging and data may apply.
The world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate, available only on the next generation GMC Sierra.
Of the many forces of nature that threaten our homes, one of the most menacing strikes without warning. Sound or fury. They're termites, and they cause billions in damage homeowners insurance won't cover. Fortunately, Termador protects before termites become a problem. Because there's no forecasting when termites will strike.
Call Target Pest Control for a free termite inspection of your home. We aim to please.
gentlemen, the Cullman High School Bearcat Marching Band.
6-function multi-pro tailgate, available only on the next generation GMC Sierra.
Of the many forces of nature that threaten our homes, one of the most menacing strikes without warning. Sound or fury. They're termites, and they cause billions in damage homeowners insurance won't cover. Fortunately, Termador protects before termites become a problem. Because there's no forecasting when termites will strike.
Call Target Pest Control for a free termite inspection of your home. We aim to please.
With your Citizens Bank and Trust digital wallet, your busy life just got a lot less complicated. As a community bank, we know our customers. They're our neighbors and friends, and we know your banking needs. It's easy to use. Simply hold your phone up to the terminal at checkout. It's right there when you need it. No more searching for your cards. Citizens Bank and Trust. Small bank, big difference. Member FDIC. Third-party fees for data, messaging, and internet may apply.
And welcome back to the Cullman Football Review. You're up 21-7. You just need to make a few adjustments on both sides of the ball, and you've done a good job shutting down this high-powered offense here in the first half. So I know you just want to keep it up and keep them out of the end zone.
Well, we know it's a long way from being over. You know, they're very dangerous football team. You know, they don't panic. You know, they're going to run the ball. They're going to do what they do, and you know that's the way we are. So it's two very, very similar teams, very similar philosophies, and like I said, we knew this game was going to be a battle, and but it was important. Our kids wanted to finish 5-5, and they really did. They were very motivated for it. I commend them because you know, it's a really difficult thing to come off beating a rival that you hadn't beaten in a long time, and you know, like I said, we needed that extra day to get over that win and come back, because you see it, you know, on all levels every week. You know, talk about a letdown, and you had a big win, and this is a letdown week, and you know, we've really preached consistency and focusing on us rather than the opponents, and I think that really helped us win this game Friday.
Well, I know you preach consistency, but historically, Hartsville's always been a tough rival and tough out. So you'd expect a letdown after a big win over Hartsville, but they came back strong and really came out in the first half and played good ball. That's
right. And again, I commend Miss Hall and the administration here for. You know, a lot of schools, you know, moved the games to Thursdays, and they really didn't take input from the head coaches. And talking to some of my coaching friends at other schools, the administrators are sort of deciding about, oh, well, we're going to move the game, and they're telling the coaches. Well, here they came to me and just asked my opinion on it, and I told it to them, and that's what we went with. And I'm super appreciative to work in a school system that, you know, takes the input and understands, you know, winning the football game's the priority.
That's right. And we're going to move on into the third quarter, and I know we've tried to improve our consistency coming out of halftime, and I think Cullman is up to the task today.
Yeah, well, they put together a drive, and you know, I like to think it's a good big hit right there. But you know, it's I think it's more a tribute to them sticking with what they do, as opposed to us being flat or anything like that. I mean, it's just they have a really fine running back, and like I said, it's a really good offensive line, and you can just see that guy's getting 6, 7, 8 yards falling forward, just a super guy. And I mean, everybody knows who's going to get the ball and what they're going to do. And you know, we're not quite holding gaps, we're not quite attacking that line of scrimmage, and you just off just a little bit, and all of a sudden, you know, this guy's off to the races a little bit and moving the ball. You know, but again, you know, we've been really good. The closer they get to that goal line, we work really hard on goal line defense, and that's not just in the 5-yard line and in, but you know, starting out at the 20, and you know, it's a thing that Coach Walker's really added. This staff is really, you know, is really putting us in some good situations, offering great suggestions about goal line defense. But you know, you can see they went right down the field, and man, that guy looked like a freight train the whole time. Jumped all sides here, but you know, things like this are going to happen, you know, and it's all about how you respond. And man, what a huge play that was to stop that 2-point conversion. You know, that put us up 2 scores and kept us there, most of the night, and that's a huge deal. And you know, and it factors into how you manage things from a head coach's standpoint. So that for them to go down the field and they run same type plays and be able to stop them on the goal line was a huge deal in the game.
And it's really important for Cullman to come back on offense and
get some
make
first downs. That's
and
right.
move the football.
And again, short side toss, and come back with the power. You know, they do a good job at the point of attack, and you know, but just being able to move the sticks, keep their offense off the field just a little bit. See, Max probably could have broke through there just a little bit more, but he was protecting the football. That guy got a hand on the football, and that was his priority. Got to execute on the throw and catch right there a little bit better. Really good high punt, not returnable right here. So, you know, our defense is in a position where, you know, they got sort of trucked right there, and we got to come back. And you see Dustin Speak and Drew Ball and, you know, Noah Busman getting to the football, Griffin Barksdale. And again, that guy's just a loaded, and we're rotating a lot of guys. See Alex Shepard, we put him in there at nose a little bit. Had a busted assignment on the responsibilities for zone read there. And if you got a weakness, they're going to expose you. And again, right there, great roll tackle. You know, the Sam brand has really improved this latter half of the season. Really proud of Sam, and I mean, he's worked hard in the weight room, and man, that's a touchdown saving tackle right there. I mean, and it's just we trying to get him on the ground, and again, it's not really the conditions. It's you know, got to make sure we're holding our gaps. That's the biggest thing. And right there, we don't have everybody in a gap. We're on one gap defense, and when somebody gets knocked out of that gap just a little bit, that guy can see where that hole is. Huge tackle right there by Griffin Barksdale, and again, starting to put them into some situations where they might have to throw, or again, great stop right there. Dustin Speak getting into the Love's legs, and he's giving up a whole lot of weight, and then they run a similar play that we run, and man, you see Mason Richards getting down the line, playing nose, and that was a huge, huge stop, and we hold them to a field goal right here. And another, you know, again, stopping them on the 2-point conversion and holding them a field goal there, and then we're still 2 scores up, and then you know, if we can get some first down, start moving the ball again, then we're still got the lead. So that's a huge thing in the game. So we come back with a trap, and here we go. And it's we liken it to, and you can see Jalen's still not quite full speed. Right. He's still favoring that ankle, but he's still good enough to rip off about 70 yards right there. And of course, everybody, you know, most people know now, you know, we win first time in Cullman history we had 2 running backs go over 1,000 yards for the season. You know, that's quite an accomplishment with as much tradition as many great backs that have played here.
And really understand how they feed off each other and help each other to really make it successful. Right.
Great call by Coach Hackbar, Coach Saint right here on the naked bootleg, and felt like Max had an advantage on that guy, one man to beat, and he beat him and scored.
And that's a big touchdown there.
There's no doubt. I mean, like I said, we stayed 2 scores up on them, and they had momentum and had 2 really, really good drives, and you know, playmakers making plays right there, and busted out on that trap, and just great blocking and great execution, you know, moving down the field, and here we're going in the 4th quarter with the lead, and you know, 2-score lead, and shoot, I feel good about where we're at.
And quite honestly, those 2 big stops down there on the 2-point conversion, and also when you held them to a field goal, that's got to help your defense here in the 4th quarter.
Right, there's no question about it. Those were huge plays in the game, and you know, a lot of people want to focus on the offense all the time, but I'm telling you, those type things when you're on your heels a little bit is, like I said, it's one of the hardest things in football to accomplish, and I just commend the defensive staff and commend our players.
And lets them understand that when it comes down to it in the 4th quarter, they know they can make the stops and preserve a victory. But this is the Cullman Football Review, brought to you by Citizens Bank and Trust, Cullman Power Board, Target Pest Control, and Bill Smith, GMC Buick. And we'll be back to the 4th quarter in just a minute and see if these Bearcats can finish off Fort Payne.
Of the many forces of nature that threaten our homes, one of the most menacing strikes without warning. Sound or fury. They're termites, and they cause billions in damage homeowners insurance won't cover. Fortunately, Termidor protects before termites become a problem. Because there's no forecasting when termites will strike.
Call Target Pest Control for a free termite inspection of your home. We aim to please.
The world's first six-function multi-pro tailgate, available only on the next generation GMC Sierra.
At Citizens Bank and Trust, your security is our top priority. Online statements eliminate the risk of your financial information getting lost in the mail. The statement can be viewed online at home or on the go, and you'll receive your statements faster each month. Plus, signing up is easy. At Citizens Bank and Trust, your security is our priority. Citizens Bank and Trust. Small bank, big difference. Member FDIC. Third-party fees for internet messaging and data may apply.
You always like to be up going into the fourth quarter, but you know, your defense and offense have both got to perform if you're going to hold on to that lead when you got a high-powered offense like Fort Payne.
No question, kicking game. I mean, everything about it, composure, and it's really proud of the kids in the fourth quarter. You know, really were able to blow the game open. And everybody, you can see from the video here, it was a tough game all the way through against a fine football team.
All right, well, let's get on into the fourth quarter and watch these Bearcats. Here we go.
There we go. We start stiffening up a little bit, and man, you get a big back like that, you got to get a lot of people around the football. And you know, now we're making them snap it, and they have a bad snap, and we're getting after this guy, and you know, felt pretty confident we were going to get him down. I saw guys taking great angles and pursuing the football. Get a little bit of empty set, and you know, 17 was a fine runner in his own part. And you see Bailey Hayes getting some snaps on defense, and you know, and toward the end of the year, we're trying to play him a little bit more both ways. And strong, athletic guy. Great job not filling that punt. We're in a safe punt, which basically means we're not blocked. We're just trying to stay out of the way.
But it's important that we put Fort Payne out of their rhythm down there and really made it tough on third down for them.
Right here. Again, short side toss. Had some of my coaching friends want to know what that play was. And I said, well, you know, we're crack blocking and turn around and tossing it to the fullback. It's pretty simple, but it's a hard play to stop when you execute it.
What about that play there, Coach? Is that your favorite?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, victory is my favorite, and quarterback sneak's my second favorite. So.
All right.
I guess I'm a dinosaur. I don't mind it. I think Hank Jr. had a song called Dinosaur. That's probably my theme song in a lot of ways. I like that right there, 35-16 against a fine football team. So we're going to do what we got to do to win. Guy went down to his knee right there, and you know, trying to squib, keep him from making a big play. And we're good with them driving the field as long as we don't give up an explosive touchdown. We can let them take time off the clock. Again, that guy's hard to tackle. Again, we work hard on that roll tackle right there, and you see Dustin Speake getting in there with the legs and slowing him down.
But now he's a great back. He's
super. You know, I can't say enough good things about Hunter. Loves his name, and you know, he's probably one of those guys that, you know, in college he may not have the 40 time to get some of the looks, but I'm gonna tell you, in high school he's as good as it gets as far as doing what they ask him to do.
Well, you can watch him with his head up, looking for his hole and running through it when it comes open.
Great catch by their receiver right here. They're trying to set the screen up. We're all over it, and it's really not that well thrown ball, but their kid makes a super catch and gets down the field. But again, you know, we're going to be okay with them nickel and diamond, and because they're running a whole lot of clock right here, and we're several scores up, and again, great tackle. I thought Dustin Speak, again, these last 2 weeks has just played outstanding.
That was a big play to
great
stay in your
position
lane.
by our corner. I mean, and what a great interception by Noah Busman. Of course, 1 inch Rodney runs in there and spots it on the 1 yard line. Any other level, they'd have been a touchback. But I can't say enough about our referee crew. Brandon Schultz and that bunch, they do a great job. And a great job on the freeze right there, getting them to jump all sides, and that gives us some breathing room. And
5 yards in that area is important.
It's big, and now we get the first down. We short side toss, and we got a first down and running clock, and here we go, off to the races. And this kind of stuff happens when you don't have a safety in the middle of the field, and people are going to line up in straight man coverage, and if you can get to that second level, you got a good chance of scoring. And
Jaden kept looking back. You got to have him running.
That's right. And Jaden's had some big runs for us, and it's broke the game open right there. And it was really, really proud of Jaden and just how he bought into what the coaches were coaching and the new schemes. And, if he hadn't been bought in, it'd been probably tough to get that senior class to have as successful a year as they've had, because he's definitely one of our leaders. And I'm just really, really happy for the seniors. That they were a bunch that, a lot of people didn't feel like had a lot of talent, was low on numbers, and had 4 different coaches in their 4 years of playing football, and just to see them really stick with it and believe and keep faith in the vision, and to see them have success now at the end of the year, boy, it's a great thing for a coach to see.
And Jaden had remarkable talent, and he's just improved year after year, and really worked so hard, and it's good to see him have those big runs.
Yeah, he's just a fine young man, and I know he's going to be successful. You can see that, Fort Payne's, they're running the ball hard, and we mixed a few guys in. Got old Cooper Clemens as a kid, moved in this year. His dad Philip was a really fine football player here back in the Coach Elmore days, and it's good to see Cooper be able to get in there. He had a knee injury, and he's just been cleared a little while, and he just loves football so much, and it's good to see him be able to get in there in some action on senior night.
And it's so important for that defense to earn every yard. They got great defense there, good awareness.
Yeah, and we've substituted just a little bit, and we want to make sure the seniors are playing, and they're battling and trying to score and trying to win this game still. And that was that kick right there. That McPherson guy's going to be. I think Coach Stevens said he hit a 65-yarder in warm-ups, and he's a real talent. I'm sure he won't go to Alabama. If he does, he'll never make a field goal over 40 yards.
Yeah, that's a death knell. Who's the other favorite?
That's right. That's number one right there, the victory formation. So we were able to run out the clock, and I tell you, it was really good to see Saul more after the game, and he's been super gracious. And to me, he coached Coach Britton in high school, and like I said, I was able to play for him for a year and a half, and man, it's good to see him. And I know several of his former players and former coaches. They got together, Buffalo Wild Wings, I think, before the game, and he made a point to come up and congratulate us after the game. And man, what a great part. It didn't end great for him here, and he found a home at Fort Payne, and he's an iconic figure up there. But most head coaches, when things didn't go their way, they'd hope that team that they left loses every game. And man, that's not Coach Elmore. He's a man of character, and just really, really appreciate the influence he had on me.
And he had the Bearcats at heart when he was here. That didn't necessarily, record didn't bear him out, but he came after a legend of Coach Woodard, and really led the Bearcats during a period of time. And he's always, I guess, had a little Bearcat in his heart, even though he left.
Yeah, well, I think his uncle was a head coach, I believe, and then this is his first big job, first head coaching job, and after a great playing career, and just like I said, just you know, just the class and the way he conducted himself and just always keeping the good above the bad, man. You know, I can't think of a finer example.
Okay. Well, I know it's a little tough to keep everybody focused during Halloween week, but it's good you're off and can get some nicks and knacks and bruises healed up and get some legs back under these kids.
That's right. Off weeks are, you got to be careful not to do too much. And I think a lot of coaches that are a little hard-headed, they turn it into another spring training and things like that. But man, at this point in the season, you know, you've got to get well. You've got to get as healthy as you can because, you know, you get into that playoff run and it's, you know, you really do say, hey, this game is bigger than everywhere else because if you don't win, season's over. And so we're paired up with a fine Mae Jemison team and up in Huntsville, it used to be the old Johnson and Butler sort of combined right there, and they've got a lot of talent. And Coach White up there, Kelvis White, does a super job. I mean, his dad was a legendary coach at Cortland, won numerous state championships. And Brother LaRon's at Sparkman now and do a fantastic job. And man, nobody's really stopped them. You know, they've lost a couple of shootouts, and if they've got everything clicking, it's going to be as challenging a game as anybody we've played this year.
Well, we'll look forward to having the Bearcats turn out in force, and I know you'll have these kids ready. And you know, it's been a brutal season with the heat and everything we've gone through. These kids deserve a break.
It is. It's been a challenge, and you know, look, we have a chance to make history. You know, Cullman's never won a 6A playoff game, and you know, what a great way for these seniors to be remembered in this whole team if we can go up there and get that win. But I'm going to promise you it's going to take every bit of effort and preparation because that team is really, really good. And you know, I just you know, just look forward to you know, getting another couple of weeks to be with these guys, really, you know, because this time last year, season was over. And so we need to really be thankful that we can continue to play this great game and take advantage of it and you know, do our best for the black and gold and the Cullman community, and I hope people will travel up there and support this team and help us make a little bit of history.
Okay, well, we'll look forward to having everybody up at Mae Jemison.
Milton Frank Stadium.
Milton Frank Stadium, which is right there in downtown Huntsville, and you'll have a break this Friday night, but you need to get back in gear the next week and get up there and watch this Bearcat squad that's grown so much and improved so much and really hung tough during some tough times, and they've done remarkably well on a 2-game win streak, and we want to improve that to 3. So we'll see you back in an extra week with the Cullman Football Review.
With your Citizens Bank and Trust digital wallet, your busy life just got a lot less complicated. As a community bank, we know our customers. They're our neighbors and friends, and we know your banking needs. It's easy to use. Simply hold your phone up to the terminal at checkout. It's right there when you need it. No more searching for your cards. Citizens Bank and Trust. Small bank, big difference. Member FDIC. Third-party fees for data, messaging, and internet may apply.
Of the many forces of nature that threaten our homes, one of the most menacing strikes without warning. Sound or fury. They're termites, and they cause billions in damage homeowners insurance won't cover. Fortunately, Termidor protects before termites become a problem. Because there's no forecasting when termites will strike.
Call Target Pest Control for a free termite inspection of your home. We aim to please.
The world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate, available only on the next generation GMC Sierra.
And welcome back to the Cullman Football Review. I'm Hugh Harris, and I'm here with Coach Saint. You're new at Cullman this year?
Yes, sir. First year.
And tell me a little bit about your background and what brought you to Cullman.
Well, I've been, this is my 7th school in 20 years of coaching. I move around a lot, but I'd worked with Coach Glasscock at Cordova High School for 3 years, and we sort of kept in contact, and he tried to get me to go with him to Arab last year, and it just wasn't a good, timing wasn't right, but this time it was. So, I was already living in Cullman, so I was driving to Mortimer, Jordan the last 3 years, and I lived here, so I just made it closer to home. And seemed like a good fit.
Okay, where'd you go to high school?
I went to Faultville High School.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Well, it's good to have you here at Cullman, and Coach Glasscock and I have discussed how much progress the offense has made this year. What's your assessment, and how do you feel like where you were and where you are at this point in time?
The kids have come a million miles from where we were in the spring. We've offensive line a little bit and simplified what we were doing offensively, and as far as formation, early in the year, probably tried to do too many different formations. We ran the same plays, but out of a bunch of different sets, and sort of condensed it down to 4 or 5 sets, and the kids have just bought in and got really good at those sets. And every week, we get a little better, you know. If everybody's healthy, we do pretty good. So.
And looking at it, I'm a little bit of an old school, but I know you offense and defense starts with your offensive line and defensive line, and we were getting pushed around pretty good early in the Jasper game, but they've just improved every week and gotten better and better, and they're really doing a good job.
Yes, sir. They've we like I said, we tweaked a few more things during the Decatur game, moved some guys around, and that same group has started now. I guess that's 5, 6 games in a row together, and so offensive line is sort of like a team within a team, and so it's weird. They have their own little unit, and you have to get them the right group together, and once they get them together, they get better and better, and that's what's happened so far this year. So
yeah, I don't think the normal viewer understands how important for all of those linemen to work together and be in sync to making the holes open up and getting those backs, which you got some pretty good backs to run through them.
But it makes it a little easier.
But they got to open those holes in order for them to be
yes, and they have to know where to. There's a certain place that people don't understand. You got to block, hit people at a certain spot to move them. If you're too high, you won't move. You got to be. And Coach Hannah does a great job. Me and him do the offensive line together, and he does a great job working with the kids. You know, just drilling stuff. When I go with there's times when I have to go with the receivers and running backs and do 7-on-7. Coach Hannah still keeps coaching those guys during that time, and he's done a phenomenal job getting them better and better every week. So.
Well, he has a little background.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Line.
It's a family tree there. He's got some good ones. So.
Yeah, there's some good genes in that coaching tree. But you got Jaden and Jalen. Coach Glasscock and I were talking the improvement they've made in learning to be patient and let for those holes open up instead of running into
or trying to bounce outside. That's the hardest thing to get those guys to figure out is if we're pushing a guy out, you can't bounce it out. We're pushing, and that's what happened a lot. Jasper and Jordan games especially, as they were once they figured it out. I said it went back to it was my fault. I was trying to do too much, and when I simplified it and we really just repped a set amount of plays. And, you know, we go into a game most Friday nights. We don't have it about – we're not going to run it about 10 plays during the game. But we try to just get the best we can at those and let the chips fall where they may.
Well, watching that Fort Payne game, it's really a progress that they've made being able to get into the holes where they're supposed to be and trust those linemen to open them up by the time they get there.
Oh, yes. So it's just it's a timing thing, and they start to trust each other and work together. And like I say, it's all a motor I always talk about a motor has a bunch of parts. You know, a little bitty spark plug doesn't work, and the whole motor doesn't work. So that's one thing, I preach all the time. And, we want to be physical and come off the football and run the football. And I talk about being a death by 1,000 cuts. That's what we talk about all the time. It's death by 1,000 cuts. And so people, you'll see, I felt like we won the Hartsville game because we wore their in the fourth quarter, we scored 2 touchdowns in the last 5 minutes of the game and attempted 2 passes. And so it was just one of those deals where there at the end, we were leaning on them and we were getting big push and guys were running hard. And, we hadn't turned other than a block punt. We haven't had a turnover the last 2 games. And that's the big thing is if we don't turn the ball over and we get first downs and we get our goals if we can get 250 yards rushing a game, I feel like we should win.
Okay, well, tell me a little bit. We've covered all areas except quarterback and receivers.
Yes, sir. Max does a great job. He's probably it's not as much passing this year. It's one of those deals where we had to get the run game. Eventually, our passing game will catch up with our run game. I think we still managed to throw for almost 700 yards this year. It's sort of, when we throw it, it's a big play usually, play action. And Max has done a great job. Isaiah's done a great job. Jake, Jake's more of a runner this year than he was last year. And then Scroggins has come in as a senior. He's filled in really well. Isaiah had the flu last week, of course, was out, and so, or against Hartsville, I should say, he was out, and he did a great job blocking. He does a great job blocking. I tell him all the time, if you don't block, you block you. There's no catchy. So they got to block first. So, but like I say, it's I'm excited. I feel good, and I'm excited about these guys getting one more game, these seniors, and if we do our part, hopefully we can get one more at home as our goal. So we've got to take care of business. But
well, we certainly appreciate the job you've done this year, and all the offensive coaches and defensive coaches that go to work every time after a win or loss and get ready for the next one. But these Cullman Bearcats have really come a long way this year, and looking for carrying it on against May Jemison.
Yes, sir. That's what our plan is. We started working on it. It's good. We're not going to spend 2 weeks on them because the coaches are, but the kids, like today when we're going to watch Hartsville. We haven't even watched the Hartsville game. I wouldn't let them watch it till after the season was over because I know they were so. I didn't want one game to define our season, so we're going to watch that today and correct some mistakes we made. We corrected Fort Payne yesterday, and we're going to introduce May Jemison to them on Friday. We're going to I feel like if you spend too long on one opponent, it gets stale with them. So Friday, we're making the most of this bye week, getting healthy and doing a lot of fundamental stuff this week, and just excited about the opportunity to get to play one more game.
Well, I know if they're a Bearcat, that big win was against Hartsville. They've been waiting on that for a few years.
Yes, sir. It was real. I was happy for the seniors. That was sort of part of their legacy. And that's what we're talking about now. Is part of their legacy can be winning a playoff game. That's what we're sort of trying to push for. And like I say, hopefully everybody should be 100% healthy, ready to go.
Well, that's always good. Well, we'll look forward to seeing the Bearcats back here in a couple of weeks, and certainly appreciate the job you've done, and look forward to working with you in the future.
Yes, sir, and enjoying it. So.